Hello, friends. Welcome to Hidden Pages, the place where we tell big stories in simple words. Today, we open a very important page in history. This is the story of World War II. It is a story of war, but also a story of people. People who were strong, people who were scared, and people who wanted peace. Let's go back in time, over 80 years ago. The year is 1939. The world is not at peace. One man, named Adolf Hitler, is the leader of Germany. He wants more land and more power. Many people are afraid. In September 1939, Germany attacks a country called Poland. This is the beginning. This is how World War II starts. Two big groups of countries begin to fight. One group is called the Allies, with countries like the United Kingdom, France, later the United States, and Soviet Union. The other group is called the Axis, with Germany, Italy, and Japan. For 6 years, the world changes. There are battles in Europe, in Africa, and across the Pacific Ocean. Cities break, buildings fall, families run. Many people die. But many people also help each other. Some become heroes, not just with guns, but with kindness, with courage, and with hope. In this story, we will hear about the strong voices of world leaders, the hard lives of everyday people, and the moments that changed the world. This is not just a story of fighting. It is also a story of learning why war is so painful, and why peace is so precious. So, get ready, sit back, open your ears, open your heart, and let's read together from the hidden pages of World War II. Let the story begin. Chapter 1. What was World War II? A long time ago, the world was a different place. People lived in many countries. Some countries were friends. Some countries did not get along. One day, a big problem started. This problem became a huge fight. This fight is called World War II. It was a very big war. It lasted 6 years. It started in 1939. It ended in 1945. Many countries were part of this war. Many people were soldiers. Many people were scared. The war changed the world. Before World War II, there was another war. It was called World War I. World War I ended in 1918. Many people were tired after that war. Many countries were sad. They wanted peace. But not all countries were happy. One country, called Germany, had many problems. Germany lost World War I. The people in Germany were poor. They were unhappy. Life was hard for them. The government made rules. These rules made life even harder. People wanted a new leader, someone who could make Germany strong again. A man named Adolf Hitler became the leader. Hitler was a very strong speaker. He told people that Germany was the best country. He said Germany should have more land. Many people believed him. They wanted Germany to be powerful again. Hitler wanted to take land from other countries. He wanted to make Germany big. Many countries were worried. They did not want war. But Hitler did not stop. In 1938, Hitler took a part of a country called Czechoslovakia. Many people were scared, but other countries did not stop him. Then, on September 1st, 1939, Hitler's army entered Poland. They wanted to take Poland. Poland fought back, but Germany was strong. This was the start of the big war. When Germany attacked Poland, two countries, Great Britain and France, said, "Stop." They declared war on Germany. This was the start of World War II. The war had two teams. One team was called the Allies. The other team was called the Axis. The Allies were countries like the United States, Great Britain, France, and the Soviet Union. They worked together. They wanted to stop Germany and its friends. The Axis was Germany, Italy, and Japan. They wanted to take land and be powerful. The war was very big. It was fought in many places. There were battles on land, in the sea, and in the sky. Many soldiers fought and many were hurt. World War II was very important. Millions of people were part of it. Many people lost their homes. Many families lost loved ones. Cities were destroyed. People were sad and scared. But many people were brave. Soldiers fought for their countries. They wanted peace. People at home helped too. Women worked in factories. Children saved food and money. Everyone wanted the war to end. They wanted peace again. The war taught the world a big lesson. It showed how bad fighting can be. After the war, countries wanted to be friends. They made groups to keep peace. They did not want another big war. World War II changed history. People's lives were hard during the war. Food was not always easy to find. Clothes were old and worn out. Families worried about soldiers. Children missed their fathers and brothers. Schools taught about the war. People worked hard. They shared what they had. They helped each other. Even though the war was hard, there was hope. People believed the war would end. Soldiers were brave. They helped their friends. People stayed strong. They dreamed of peace. They dreamed of a better world. World War II was sad, but it showed how brave people can be. It showed how hope is very important. Now you know what World War II was. It was a big war with many countries. It changed the world. In the next chapters, we will learn about the big battles. We will learn about the heroes. We will see how the war ended. And we will learn how people made peace. The story of World War II is long and full of many things. But it is important to remember. It helps us learn to live in peace. Chapter 2. Who fought in the war? World War II was a big war. Many countries were part of it. Many people fought. Some people were soldiers. Some people worked at home. Some people helped in other ways. The war was not only about fighting. It was about people. It was about countries. It was about the world. There were two teams in the war. One team was called the Allies. The other team was called the Axis. These two teams did not agree. They had different ideas. They wanted different things. The Allies were the good team. They wanted to stop the war. They wanted peace. They wanted to stop bad leaders. At the start, the Allies were Great Britain, France, and Poland. Later, more countries joined. The United States joined in 1941. The Soviet Union also joined in 1941. Many other countries joined too. They all wanted to stop the Axis. The Axis were the countries that started the war. They wanted more land. They wanted more power. The Axis had three big countries. Germany was the first. Hitler was the leader of Germany. He wanted to make Germany bigger. He wanted to take over Europe. The second Axis country was Italy. Italy was led by a man named Mussolini. He was a strong leader like Hitler. He wanted to make Italy great. The third Axis country was Japan. Japan was far away in Asia, but Japan also wanted more land. Japan attacked many countries in Asia. So many countries joined the war. But the people were the most important. Millions of people became soldiers. Men from the United States, Britain, France, the Soviet Union, and many more joined the army. They left their homes. They went to fight. Some went to Europe. Some went to Africa. Some went to Asia. They were young. They were brave. They did not know what would happen. But they wanted to help. Not only men fought. Women helped too. In many countries, women worked in factories. They made clothes, food, and weapons for the soldiers. Some women became nurses. They helped the hurt soldiers. Some women flew airplanes. Some women worked with radios. They were smart and brave too. Children helped too. They collected metal. They saved food. They helped their families. They went to school and learned about the war. They wrote letters to the soldiers. They drew pictures. They gave hope. People from all over the world joined. In India, Africa, Canada, Australia, and other countries, men joined the war. They fought for the Allies. They helped even if the war was far away. They knew the war was big. They knew the world needed peace. Even animals helped in the war. Dogs ran messages. Horses carried supplies. Pigeons flew with notes. They were brave too. They helped the people. But not everyone fought with guns. Some people helped in quiet ways. They hid people. They gave food. They gave secret messages. These people were called resistance fighters. They lived in places like France and Poland. They were very brave. If they were caught, they could be hurt. But they wanted to help. They wanted to stop the war. Many people fought against the bad ideas. Hitler and the Nazis did bad things. They wanted only one kind of people to live. They were not kind to Jewish people. They were not kind to people who were different. The Allies wanted to stop this. They fought for all people. They fought for freedom. They fought for peace. The war was not just in one place. It was in many places. It was in the land. It was in the sea. It was in the air. Soldiers drove tanks. They flew planes. They sailed ships. They walked in snow. They walked in deserts. They kept going. They did not stop. They were tired, but they believed in peace. Many people were hurt. Many people died. Families cried. Cities were broken. But the people did not give up. They stayed strong. They worked together. They believed in a better world. So who fought in the war? Everyone did. Soldiers fought. Women helped. Children gave hope. Countries joined together. They said no to hate. They said yes to peace. World War II was hard, but the people were brave. They came from many places. They spoke many languages. They had different skin colors. But they all wanted the same thing. They wanted the war to end. They wanted peace. This is why we remember them. They helped the world. They changed history. They showed that together, we are strong. Now you know who fought in the war. In the next chapter, we will learn how the war started. We will go back to the beginning. We will see how one action started a world fight. Chapter 3. The Start of the War. The world was not always at war. A long time ago, people lived their lives in peace. They went to school. They worked. They played. But something was changing. Some people in the world were not happy. Some leaders wanted more power. They wanted more land. They wanted to tell other people what to do. This is how the war began. After World War I, many countries were tired. They lost a lot of people. They lost money. They lost hope. One of these countries was Germany. Germany lost World War I. The people in Germany were poor. Many had no jobs. They were sad and angry. They wanted a strong leader. A man named Adolf Hitler came to power. He was a very strong speaker. He said, "I will help Germany. I will make it strong again." Many people listened to him. They wanted hope. They wanted food. They wanted jobs. Hitler gave them hope. But he also gave them hate. Hitler did not like many people. He said that some people were better than others. He did not like Jewish people. He blamed them for many problems. This was not true, but many people believed him. He told lies. These lies were dangerous. Hitler wanted more land. He wanted Germany to grow. First, he took a small piece of land from another country. It was called Austria. Then he took part of a country called Czechoslovakia. The leaders of other countries said, "Stop." But they did not fight. They were afraid of another war. Then came a big moment. On September 1st, 1939, Germany invaded Poland. That means German soldiers went into Poland and attacked. They wanted to take the land. They used planes, tanks, and bombs. It was very fast. It was very strong. People were scared. People ran. People cried. 2 days later, Great Britain and France said, "Enough." They declared war on Germany. This was the beginning of World War II. The war started in Europe, but soon it grew. It became a world war. Many countries joined. Some wanted to stop Hitler. Some wanted to help him. The world was now in danger. Germany did not fight alone. They had help. Italy joined Germany. Japan joined too. These three countries became the Axis powers. They worked together. They wanted to take land. They wanted to be strong. They wanted to win. The Allies were the team that wanted peace. At first, the Allies were Great Britain, France, and Poland. Later, many more joined. The United States joined in 1941. The Soviet Union also joined in 1941. Countries from Africa, Asia, and the Pacific also joined the Allies. They all wanted to stop the war. The fighting grew bigger. Germany moved fast. They took many countries in Europe. They took Denmark. They took Norway. They took Belgium and the Netherlands. Then they went into France. The people of France tried to stop them. But Germany was strong. They had many soldiers. They had many tanks. Soon, Germany took Paris. France was now under German control. People were sad. But some people did not give up. They worked in secret. They helped others. They were called the Resistance. They were very brave. Great Britain did not give up. The German planes flew over Britain. They dropped bombs on cities. This was called the Blitz. People hid in their homes. They went underground. But they did not stop. They said, "We will fight." The British people stayed strong. Far away in Asia, Japan was also attacking. Japan wanted more land, too. They took parts of China. They attacked islands. People were scared there, too. Many people ran. Many people lost their homes. On December 7th, 1941, Japan attacked the United States. They bombed a place called Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. Many ships were destroyed. Many soldiers died. The next day, the United States joined the war. This was a big moment. Now, the war was truly a world war. The start of the war was fast and strong. Many people were scared. Many people were hurt. Cities were broken. Families were lost. But the people did not stop. They hoped for peace. They believed in a better world. The start of the war showed the world how dangerous hate can be. It showed how one man, with bad ideas, can hurt many people. But it also showed how brave people can be. It showed how people can work together. It showed that even in dark times, there is light. This is how the war began. It started with anger. It started with hate. But soon, it would be met with courage, with strength, and with hope. Now you know how World War II began. In the next chapter, we will see what life was like during the war. Not for soldiers, but for people at home. Life was not easy, but people found ways to live. People found ways to help. Chapter 4. Life at Home. When World War II started, many people went to fight. They were soldiers. They went far from home. They went to other countries. They fought in the land. They flew planes. They sailed ships. But not everyone went to war. Many people stayed at home. Life at home was also hard. People at home had to be strong too. They had to help in many ways. Every day was different during the war. Life was not easy. People did not know what would happen next. They were scared. They were worried. But they kept going. They helped each other. They stayed strong. Food was a big problem. There was not enough food for everyone. Ships could not bring food from other countries. The war made it hard to grow food, so people had to eat less. This was called rationing. Each family got a little food. They had food cards or tickets. They could not buy too much. They had to share. They had to save. Sugar, meat, eggs, and milk were special. People had to wait in line to get them. But people were smart. They made new meals with simple things. They grew food in their gardens. These gardens were called victory gardens. People grew carrots, potatoes, and onions. Even children helped. They watered the plants. They pulled the weeds. They were proud of their gardens. Clothes were also a problem. People could not buy many clothes. Factories were busy making clothes for soldiers. So people fixed old clothes. They shared clothes. They made new clothes from old ones. This was called make do and mend. People learned to sew. They did not waste anything. Many women started working. Before the war, most women stayed at home. But now, they worked in factories. They made bombs, tanks, and planes. They worked very hard. Their hands got dirty, but they were proud. They helped the soldiers. They helped their country. They were strong. People called them names like Rosie the Riveter in the United States. She was a symbol of women who worked. Children helped too. They went to school, but they also worked. They collected metal and paper. They helped in the garden. They saved money. They bought war stamps. These stamps gave money to help the army. Children also learned safety rules. They had to know what to do if bombs came. In some places, children left the city. They went to the countryside. It was safer there. They lived with other families. They missed home, but they were safe. At home, people had to be careful. Lights were turned off at night. This was called a blackout. It helped hide cities from enemy planes. People covered windows with dark cloth. They walked with small flashlights. It was dark, but it helped keep people safe. People listened to the radio. The radio gave news. It told people what was happening. Sometimes the news was sad. Sometimes it gave hope. People sat together. They listened quietly. They waited for good news. They wrote letters to soldiers. They waited for letters from far away. These letters were full of love. Some people cried. Some people smiled. Letters were very important. People also helped their neighbors. If someone was sad, others gave a hug. If someone was hungry, they shared food. If someone needed help, people came. The war was hard, but people became close. They were like one big family. Some people at home did secret jobs. They listened to messages. They sent codes. They worked with maps. These people helped win the war too. They did not wear uniforms, but they were very smart. Their work was quiet, but strong. Even during the war, people found time to smile. They sang songs. They danced. They told jokes. They had small parties. They played games. They needed to feel happy sometimes. They needed to feel normal. These small, happy times gave them strength. Life at home was full of waiting. People waited for news. They waited for peace. They looked at the sky. They listened for bombs. But deep in their hearts, they had hope. Hope is a strong thing. It helped them keep going. It helped them believe that the war would end. In the end, the people at home were also heroes. They did not fight with guns, but they fought with kindness. They fought with hard work. They showed love. They showed courage. They helped win the war too. Now you know what life was like at home during the war. In the next chapter, we will learn about the big battles. We will see how the world changed step by step. We will learn how the war moved across the world. Chapter 5. Big Battles. World War II had many big battles. These battles were very important. They happened on land, in the air, and on the sea. Each one changed the war. The battles were hard. Many people fought and many people died. But the battles also brought hope. Some battles helped the Allies get stronger. One of the first big battles was in France. Germany attacked France in 1940. They moved very fast. The French soldiers could not stop them. France lost. Germany took over the country. British soldiers were in France too. They had to run away. Many of them were trapped near the sea. This place was called Dunkirk. But something amazing happened. Boats came to help. Small boats, big boats, and fishing boats helped the soldiers escape. This was called the Miracle of Dunkirk. Over 300,000 soldiers were saved. People in Britain were happy. They had hope again. Another big battle happened in the air. It was called the Battle of Britain. In 1940, German planes flew over Britain. They dropped many bombs. They wanted to break Britain. But the British people did not give up. British pilots flew their planes. They fought in the sky. They were very brave. They stopped the German planes. Germany did not win. Britain stayed free. The people were proud. They sang songs and waved flags. Another big battle happened in the Soviet Union. It was called the Battle of Stalingrad. It started in 1942. It was one of the biggest battles in history. Germany wanted to take the city. The fighting was strong and long. It was cold. It was hard. But the Soviet soldiers did not stop. They fought street by street. They did not give up. At last, Germany lost. This was a big moment. The Allies were getting stronger. The Axis powers were getting weaker. In 1944, there was another very big battle. It was called D-Day. D-Day happened on June 6, 1944. The Allies wanted to take back France. They came in boats. They landed on beaches in Normandy. There were many soldiers. There were many ships and planes. It was a hard day. Many soldiers died. But the Allies won. They moved forward. They pushed the German army back. People in France were happy. They cheered. They waved flags. They were free again. After D-Day, the Allies kept moving. They went through Europe. They took back more cities. They helped more people. The war was turning. The Allies were close to winning. In the Pacific, there were big battles too. Japan had taken many islands. The United States fought back. One big battle was at Midway in 1942. The U.S. Navy stopped the Japanese ships. It was a big win. Another big fight happened on the island of Iwo Jima. The fighting was strong. Soldiers climbed mountains and walked in hot sand. It was very hard, but the Allies won. They were getting closer to Japan. These battles were very hard. Many people died, but every win helped bring peace closer. Every battle was a step to the end. The world was tired. The people were tired. They wanted the war to stop. They wanted to go home. The big battles helped stop the war. The soldiers were brave. The people at home were proud. They waited and they hoped. They believed that peace would come soon, and they were right. In the next chapter, we will learn how the war ended. We will see what happened in the final days. We will see how peace returned to the world. Chapter 6. Soldiers and Heroes. In World War II, many people became soldiers. They came from many countries. Some were very young. Some were old but strong. They left their homes. They left their families. They went to fight in faraway places. They went to help others. The soldiers wore uniforms. They carried bags and guns. They marched in the cold. They marched in the heat. They slept in tents or on the ground. They ate simple food. Some soldiers were in the army. Some were in the navy. Some flew planes in the air. Some drove tanks on the land. Each soldier had a job. Each one was important. They fought in big battles. They helped free cities. They crossed rivers and mountains. They walked in mud and snow. Some soldiers were scared, but they did not stop. They thought about their families. They thought about peace. Many soldiers wrote letters. They wrote about their days. They told stories. They asked for news from home. These letters gave them strength. They gave them hope. There were also brave medics. They helped the hurt. They ran into danger. They saved lives. Some heroes were not soldiers. Some were spies. They worked in secret. They sent messages. They found enemy plans. They helped the army win. There were also code breakers. They worked with numbers and words. They broke secret codes. They were smart and quiet. They worked in small rooms. They did not wear uniforms, but they helped stop the war. They were heroes too. Women were heroes as well. Some flew planes, some worked in hospitals, some fixed machines, others worked in the resistance. They helped soldiers hide. They gave food and maps. They used secret names. They were very brave. They risked their lives. Children were heroes too. They helped their families. They followed rules. They stayed strong. They smiled to give hope. They helped plant food. Some people gave everything. They never came home. They are remembered as heroes. We thank them today. Soldiers came from near and far. Some were from cities. Some were from small towns. Some were farmers and teachers. But in the war, they were all the same. They were helpers. They fought for peace. They stood for freedom. They were scared, but brave. They were tired, but strong. They worked together. They believed in good. We call them heroes. We remember their names. We tell their stories. We honor their courage. In the next chapter, we will learn how the war ended. We will see how peace finally came back to the world. Chapter 7. Planes and Tanks. World War II had many new machines. These machines helped win the war. Planes flew high in the sky. Tanks rolled across the land. They were loud and strong. They were made for battle. Planes were fast. They could fly over cities and forests. Some planes dropped bombs. Others shot at enemy planes. Fighter planes were small and quick. They moved like birds. Bomber planes were big and heavy. They carried many bombs. Pilots flew the planes. They trained hard every day. They used maps and radios. They worked in teams. Flying was very dangerous. Pilots had to be brave. Sometimes they flew in the dark. Sometimes they flew in storms. Air battles were scary. Planes turned and spun fast. Sometimes they caught fire. Sometimes they had to land quickly. There were also spy planes. These planes took pictures. They looked at enemy places. They brought back important news. Planes helped in D-Day. They flew before the soldiers came. They dropped things to help. They watched from the sky. Now let's talk about tanks. Tanks were big and heavy. They had strong armor. They had big guns. They moved on tracks, not wheels. They could drive over mud. Tanks helped break enemy lines. They moved with soldiers. Inside the tank, it was small. It was hot and loud. Soldiers inside worked as a team. One drove, one aimed, and one gave orders. Tanks had names and numbers. They were painted to hide. Some tanks were fast, some tanks were slow but strong. Tanks helped in battles across Europe. They went through towns and fields. They broke through walls. They protected the soldiers. Some battles had many tanks. These were called tank battles. The ground shook when they moved. The air was full of smoke. Germany made strong tanks. The Allies made many tanks too. Each side wanted to win. Each side built more machines. War needed factories. People worked day and night. They built tanks, planes, and other tools. They worked fast and hard. Machines were important in this war. They changed how battles were fought. Soldiers, tanks, and planes worked together. They made big plans. They moved like one team. They helped each other win. After the war, these machines changed again. Some were used for peace. Planes helped carry people. Tanks were saved in museums. We can still see them today. We can learn from them. These machines were part of history. They showed the power of teamwork. In the next chapter, we will see how the war ended. We will learn about peace and what came next. Chapter 8. The war moves around the world. World War II did not stay in one place. It moved all around the world. The war started in Europe, but soon it spread to Africa and Asia. It even reached the Pacific Ocean. Many countries joined the fight. Some fought with the Allies. Some fought with the Axis. Every place was different, but the war touched them all. In Africa, there was fighting in the desert. The sun was hot and strong. Tanks rolled across the sand. Soldiers had to carry water. They wore light clothes. They had to watch for dust storms. Famous battles happened in places like Egypt and Libya. The Allies won many of these fights. This helped them move toward Europe. It made the Axis weaker. In Asia, Japan wanted more land. They took over many places. They moved into China, Korea, and Southeast Asia. They were fast and strong, but many people fought back. The war in Asia was long and hard. Then something big happened in 1941. Japan attacked the United States. They bombed a place called Pearl Harbor. Many ships were destroyed. The U.S. was shocked. Many people died. After that, the U.S. joined the war. It became a world war for real. The war also moved into the Pacific Ocean. There were many islands there. Japan took many of them. The U.S. had to fight to get them back. There were battles on land and sea. Planes flew in the sky. Soldiers jumped into the water. They climbed hills and mountains. It was hot and wet. The jungle was thick. The war also came to the skies over Europe. Planes dropped bombs on cities. People had to hide in shelters. They were scared every night. The war was not just for soldiers. It was for everyone. No place felt truly safe. Everyone was waiting for peace. In many countries, people had to move. Some left their homes. Some lost everything. They became refugees. They walked for days. They looked for food and shelter. Even faraway places felt the war. People shared news by radio. They helped by sending food. They gave money and support. The world was all connected. Everyone was part of the story. The war showed how big the world was, but it also showed how close people were. Even if they lived far away, they cared. They hoped for peace together. In the next chapter, we will learn how the war finally ended. We will see the last days of World War II and what happened after. Chapter 9. Helping each other. In World War II, people had to help each other. They could not do everything alone. Soldiers helped one another in battle. They shared food and water. They carried their friends when they were hurt. They worked as a team. One soldier watched while the other slept. One gave hope when the other was sad. This made them strong. This made them brave. At home, people helped too. Families shared what little they had. If one family had extra food, they gave some away. If someone was cold, they gave a blanket. Neighbors looked after each other. Friends helped clean up after bombings. Children helped by collecting paper and metal. They saved every little thing. They even gave their toys to help the army. Everyone wanted to do their part. Women worked in offices and factories. They made clothes, planes, and tanks. They worked all day and all night. They did not stop. In farms, people grew food for many. They sent food to soldiers far away. Even if they were tired, they kept working. They knew others needed them. In towns, people gave money. They bought war stamps to help the army. They fixed old clothes. They shared shoes and coats. In the countryside, people took in city children. These children needed a safe place. They gave them food, love, and care. They made them feel at home. Some people helped in secret. They were part of the resistance. They helped soldiers hide. They sent messages and maps. They risked their lives every day. They did not ask for anything back. Doctors and nurses helped the sick and the hurt. They worked in hospitals near battles. They stayed calm when things were scary. They gave people hope. Even small things were help. A smile or a kind word mattered. A hug, a warm meal, or a quiet talk helped a lot. These little things made people feel strong. People in other countries helped too. They sent food and clothes. They gave shelter to those with no home. They wrote letters full of hope. Helping each other gave people strength. It made the war feel less heavy. It showed that even in dark times, kindness was still alive. It reminded people they were not alone. The world felt big, but helping made it smaller. It brought hearts closer. Helping did not stop when the war ended. People kept caring for one another. They rebuilt cities and homes. They planted flowers and trees again. They smiled more. They hugged more. They knew that love and care were stronger than war. They learned that together, anything is possible. In the next chapter, we will learn how the war came to an end. We will see the day the world changed again. Chapter 10. The End of the War. World War II lasted for 6 long years. It was a time of sadness and fear. But slowly, the war began to change. The Allies started to win more battles. They pushed the enemy back. They took back many towns and cities. Germany was getting weaker. Its army could not fight like before. In 1945, the Allies reached Germany. They moved closer every day. The cities were quiet and broken. People waited for the end. On April 30th, 1945, Adolf Hitler died. He was the leader of Nazi Germany. He stayed in a bunker under the ground. He knew the war was lost. After that, Germany gave up. On May 8, 1945, the war ended in Europe. This day was called VE Day. It means Victory in Europe Day. People danced in the streets. They hugged and sang songs. They waved flags. They cried happy tears. The war in Europe was over. But the war in the Pacific still went on. Japan kept fighting. They would not stop. The United States wanted peace. They asked Japan to surrender. Japan said no. So something very big happened. The U.S. dropped 2 atomic bombs. One bomb hit the city of Hiroshima. The other bomb hit Nagasaki. These bombs were very powerful. Many people died. The cities were destroyed. Japan saw they could not win. On August 15, 1945, Japan said they would stop. This day is called VJ Day. It means Victory over Japan Day. People all around the world were happy. The war was finally over. The fighting stopped. The world took a deep breath. But many things had changed. Cities were broken. Homes were gone. Many families were not together. People had to rebuild. They had to start again. Even after peace, life was hard. But people had hope. They wanted a better world. They wanted no more war. Nations came together. They made promises to help each other. They started the United Nations. It was a group for peace. People learned from the war. They wanted to live in kindness. The war had ended, but the memories stayed. We remember the soldiers. We remember the helpers. We remember the brave people. We remember the lost ones. The war showed how strong people can be. It showed how much we need peace. Even today, we still say never again. We still hope for a world without war. Chapter 11. Peace comes back. The war was over. People were ready for peace. Guns were quiet. Bombs stopped falling. Soldiers came home. Families waited at train stations. Some cried with joy. Some just hugged for a long time. Cities were broken. Many houses were gone. Schools and shops were closed. Streets were full of dust and stone. But people were strong. They wanted to build again. Men, women, and children cleaned together. They picked up bricks and wood. They fixed windows. They planted flowers. People shared what they had. They helped neighbors and friends. Everyone worked as one. They believed peace was a new beginning. Some people had no home. They had to move to new places. They stayed with kind families. They found new hope. Children started school again. They smiled and played. Mothers cooked warm meals. Fathers looked for work. Peace felt slow at first, but each day was better. Nations helped each other. Countries gave food and tools. The United Nations was made. It helped keep the peace. People met and talked. They made plans for a safer world. War had taken so much, but peace gave back dreams. Books, music, and art returned. People sang songs of hope. Soldiers who came home told stories. Some were sad, some were brave. They remembered friends. They remembered the long days. Some people still felt scared. They had seen hard things. But they were not alone. Others listened and helped. Peace was more than quiet. It was love, care, and kindness. It was children walking to school again. It was mothers hanging clean clothes in the sun. It was lights turning on in homes. It was people laughing in the street. Peace came back slowly, but it came with strength. People learned that peace must be protected. It must be shared by all. After the war, life began again. Not the same, but with hope. The world had changed, but people still believed in good. They promised to remember the past. They promised to build a better future. And so peace came back, and people held it close. Chapter 12. Remembering the war. The war is over now, but we still remember it. We remember the soldiers. We remember the helpers. We remember the mothers and fathers. We remember the children. They all lived through hard times. They showed great courage. Many people died in the war. We honor them every year. On special days, people stop and think. They wear red poppies. Some go to big parks or memorials. They stand in silence. They listen to soft music. They say kind words. Children learn about the war in school. They hear stories from long ago. They learn to be kind. They learn not to hate. Museums show photos and clothes from the war. People see letters and old maps. They learn how life was then. They see how strong people were. Some people still tell their own stories. They talk about when they were young. They remember loud sounds and cold nights. They remember friends who never came back. These stories are very important. They help us understand the past. They teach us to be thankful. They teach us to care. We remember the war to keep peace alive. We remember so it does not happen again. We also remember the helpers. Nurses, farmers, and factory workers did big things. They gave time and heart. They kept the world moving. Even small acts of kindness mattered. A warm meal or smile helped someone feel hope. Statues and poems help us remember. Songs and books tell the stories. Even when time passes, we still care. We still listen. Remembering the war is not just about sadness. It is also about hope. It is about standing together. It is about peace and love. The war was hard, but people were brave. They showed what it means to be strong. Today, we live in peace because of them. We walk free because of their fight. So we light candles. We hang flags. We say, thank you. We say, we remember. And we promise this, to choose peace, to choose kindness, and to never forget. And now, our story ends. In 1945, the world was tired. Millions of people had died. Cities were broken. But finally, the war was over. The Allies had won. The world could start again. But even when the fighting stopped, the pain stayed. Families had lost loved ones. Some people had no homes. And the world had to heal. One of the saddest parts of the war was the Holocaust. Millions of Jewish people and others were hurt and killed by the Nazis. We must never forget them. We must always say, never again. From this terrible war, people learned many lessons. That peace is better than power. That every life is important. That we must stand up when we see something wrong. After the war, the world tried to build peace. The United Nations was created. Countries talked more and tried to work together. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. World War II changed the map. It changed people. It changed everything. But today, we remember. We remember the soldiers, the nurses, the children, the parents, the teachers, all the people who lived through this time. We remember their fear, their bravery, and their hope. Because when we remember the past, we can make a better future. Thank you for listening to this story on Hidden Pages. If you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us what other stories you want to hear. We are always turning the page, together. Until next time, stay curious and stay kind. Bye for now.